Okay, this is part 2 of how to wind a receiver coil. So if you watched my video yesterday, you'll know that I showed you how to wind a receiver coil that is 1/4 of the wavelength of the frequency of the magnifying transmitter. To receive the electricity from my magnifying transmitter on your coil, you must tune the coil to resonate at 168 kilohertz. The wire on the coil must also be 1/4 of the wavelength of this frequency. Now I'm going to tell you how to tune the coil to 168 kilohertz. The best method to use is a signal generator and an oscilloscope, but if you don't have these, there are various other methods. So if you are tuning the coil with an oscilloscope and a signal generator, you will need a 1N34 or 1N34A diode and a resistor in series with the oscilloscope probe, and on the end of the probe you will need a metal soda can. Make sure the soda can is empty. Here's how the end of the signal generator probe should look. This is the metal can, that's the diode, and that's the resistor. The resistor is 4,000 ohms. This wire goes to ground, or the earth. After you have connected the oscilloscope probe, you will need a clearance of at least 3 feet on all sides of the receiving coil from any objects. You will also need to raise the coil up off the ground on a non-conducting base, like a table. Now with your signal generator, take the negative lead and connect it to the bottom of the receiving coil where it's normally connected to the ground. Connect the positive lead to the earth ground. I am using the house's earth ground. Some older houses do not have earth grounds on the plugs, so you may have to drive a rod into the ground. To begin tuning your receiving coil, place the oscilloscope probe 3 feet away from the top turn on your receiving coil. With the signal generator connected to the bottom of the coil and the earth, turn up the frequency of the signal generator until you observe the maximum rise of the waveform on the oscilloscope. I'm going to be using a sine wave and a 20-volt signal on my signal generator. Okay, here we go. Adjust the spacing of the top few turns until your coil resonates at 168 kilohertz. You'll be able to tell this because your signal generator will say 168,000 and your oscilloscope will have the biggest waveform there.